Hey, welcome back to another CR Live session with me, Dan Bongino. Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. It's been like a really long day. I did my podcast in the morning. Thanks to everyone who listens and subscribes. Again, I'll put the links to the podcast in the comment section. Then I just did 3 hours of radio filling in for Mark Levin. Some of you may have heard me, but I don't want to miss out on my live sessions either. I really like these. This is my opportunity to connect with you here. And you can see my face, which for some may be good, for some may be very bad. It's a face for radio, right? Hey, the Secret Service is being inundated with threats to Trump. I mean, this is just really sad. This is pathetic. But this is the left. I mean, I emphasized this tonight filling in for Mark, how this is what the modern far left has become. You know, they're all about the taking of power, the taking of money, the taking of tax dollars, the taking of your healthcare liberty, the taking of your kid's school choice away. This is what leftism is about. I mean, the house of ideological leftism is built on a base of control. And when the left can't control things, they have nothing to fall back on, unlike conservatives, where we can fall back on God, church, family, individual liberty. Far leftists, not all Democrats, but far leftists have none of that. They have to take. And when they're not in power, which they aren't anywhere, they revolt. And they strike out and they scream and they claw their faces and they pull their hair out. They burn stuff. They shoot off firecrackers. They punch people. They mace people. This is what they do. Sadly, you're now seeing this spill over into the presidential threat arena, where there was a story today, one of the CR staff sent me in Mashable, where Trump's getting thousands of threats a day on Twitter, which, by the way, I wrote a piece of Conservative Review not that long ago where I predicted this was going to happen. Because the liberals have no restrictions. Sorry, I'm reading some of your comments here. Far left radical liberals have no restrictions on their behavior. The ends to them is the accumulation of power. If they have to beat you up or keep you from speaking or threaten you to do it, then that's what they'll do. I mean, that's what far left, radical far leftism is, in essence. So how does the Secret Service handle this? Well, folks, it's against the law to threaten the life of the President of the United States or his family. Whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. It's the law. You can't do that, okay? Now, how does the Secret Service separate the pool of, say, threats that aren't serious from threats that are serious? Well, number one, there's a legal component to it. I'll get to the investigative part in a second, but you have to make a threat both knowingly and willingly according to the law. So knowingly meaning, let's say this was more of a problem with the letter writers. Back when I was a young Secret Service agent, there wasn't really a lot of email. People would mail letters to the White House, threatening the life of the president. Well, the example given on the knowingly side is if I give a letter to you to mail and you mail it, you didn't knowingly mail a threat. It's not a problem for you. But most people knowingly make the threats. The second part is willingly. Was the threat to the president made willingly? So for all these Twitter sad, pathetic libs out there threatening the president's life, be careful. You're committing a crime. But if the Secret Service can find out legally that you were actually determined to do this, there's a good possibility you're going to do jail time. I'm not making this up. We've arrested people for threat cases. I did it all the time. But, if it's a 12-year-old kid who does something dumb on Twitter and his mom's spanking him and he had no intention of blowing up the White House, as Madonna said, the chances of a legal prosecution in those cases are probably pretty slim, but you still may get a visit. It's illegal. What you did is illegal. Again, whether they'll prosecute or not is a whole other story. But how does the Secret Service determine who's serious, who was willingly ready to carry that out, determined to carry out a threat, and who are the knuckleheads spouting off in the bar in their Twitter accounts when they think they're liberal superheroes, right? There's a long process, but, without giving up a lot of the details, because I'm obviously hesitant to do that, there are a number of giveaways, like travel history and things like that. If you've been following, if you've been stalking the president, you've been doing a lot of target shifting. In other words, are you tweeting death threats to other people as well? That's a really ominous sign. Within the Secret Service, you see a lot of these movies like In the Line of Fire, and you're always under the impression that it's the guy who single-handedly, like the John Malkovich character in The Line of Fire, who focuses on just the president, like that's the most dangerous guy. The reality is that's not really what the evidence says. There's study of assassins and assassination attempts. A lot of the people who target shift and pick multiple targets, the president this day, remember the John Hinckley who targeted Jodie Foster? Those people are actually a little more dangerous. So they go through they have a bunch of, like a template type thing. They'll go through an investigation where they can figure out if they think this person's a threat or if that person's not a threat. I went into a lot of this, by the way. If you go to crtv.com, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We got a lot of great content. Go there today. There's a free trial running right now, by the way, crtv.com. I did a walkthrough of Pennsylvania Avenue pre-inauguration. It's up at crtv.com on the website, where I showed what it's like the day in the life of the Secret Service agent, what the inauguration was going to look like. And I talk about a lot of this stuff too. But yeah, it is illegal to threaten the president. Libs, just calm down. Just calm down. You lost. Relax. You had to make up threats when we lost power, conservatives, and Obama was in office. Remember? Oh, you Tea Party, you showed up at the Capitol during the Obamacare debate. You were spitting on people. That never, ever happened. They just made it up. Liberals are actually threatening people. Calm down. Go join a group, a knitting group, a meditation group. Go do yoga, find your center, whatever it may be. Cool out. Chill out. Take a pill, take it easy, go organize and try to win a darn election. You've lost everywhere. Stop threatening people, burning down Berkeley, shooting fireworks at people, macing people, punching them in the face. Relax. It's the United States of America. You live in the greatest country on earth. Try to win back an election in 4 years. Take it easy, okay? Stop trying to burn down the country. Reminds me of that line from Batman, the Christopher Nolan movies, where Michael Caine's telling that story about this gang he ran into over in Africa that took all the diamonds, whatever, and threw them out. And he says in the end, well, some people just want to see the world burn, right? Well, this is it. Some of these libs just want to see it all burn down. Relax. Go do something productive with your time. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm Dan Bongino.